Danny, do you hear the music? Do you hear the intro music?
Yeah, of course. It's great. It's great to
You
be back. Miss that sound, kid.
you know what that means? That means spreading the news is back. And we are here on October 21st, which means that the Yankees are on their way to a World Series.
Let's go.
Danny, it's so good to see your face. It's
Great to
so
see
good to
you,
be
man.
back here on this platform with you. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. And this is great because usually me and you will have talked Yankees before coming into any episodes, but I just got back from Texas. I haven't seen you since game two. This is the first time we're talking. I'm
It's
excited to hear what your thoughts, hear how it was watching with the boys at home. But we're in the World Series. Obviously, I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, Danny and I have been watching every game together that we possibly can. All the games that we watched. You went to what game? You went to game one and game
Game one
four?
of the DS and game two of the CS.
Oh, okay. So you went to game one of the DS and game two of the CS. So every other game Danny and I have watched together. I haven't been to a game this postseason yet, unfortunately, but hopefully those circumstances change.
Yeah.
Um,
I
if we
mean,
get some, I don't even know if I get, the guts to drop that much money on a World Series ticket, but
hopefully it go down. I mean, I just want to let everybody know I have reversed my jinx. Two playoff games this year, we won both. So I'm back. Gone are the 2022 ALDS days where we got shut out when I was there, ALCS. But yeah, hopefully we can make it to a World Series game. They are pretty crazy. I've been talking to your brother about it mostly. But we're trying. We're trying to look, see if anything gets cheaper and we could jump on it. But
hey, if it gets cheaper and it's affordable for me, then I'm there. But it's tough right now, man. I think I saw like the
tough.
cheapest ticket. I think I saw like bleacher seats for like $1,400.
Bro, standing room tickets are like $1,300.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. But who knows? If we do go to a game, we'll have to make some sort of content to try to make some money back, with our big platform
Yeah,
we've got.
with
But
our all our fans, give us money.
exactly. But listen, the Yankees are in the World Series. It's actually an unbelievable
It's
sentence to
unbelievable.
say. Me and Danny wanted to preface this call or this episode by, saying obviously we weren't present during the regular season, but we felt that it was our duty and our responsibility to hop on and talk to you guys about the World Series. So we're excited to be here. And what better way to start than to start with the ALDS? Danny, you were at game one. Why don't you kick us off a little bit?
So game one, I mean, I saw history. Apparently, that was an amazing game, which is kind of the theme of a lot of these games this postseason. The most lead changes ever in a playoff game. There was five of them, and it was cool to watch because it was the Yankees. They were doing it in different ways. I mean, there was a little sometimes where they left runners on base, but usually you think of the Yankees like we're gonna have to go out there, we're gonna have to hit the big home run, but really there we were stringing the hits together, we were stringing walks together, getting on base. That's what this team does best, putting up good at bats. I mean, even their outs, which they see a lot of pitches, they make these pitchers work. They walk. They have the highest walk rate in the league right now. I think the Dodgers are second, so that'll be fun to watch. Just guys putting up good at bats, but Verdugo was the hero in that game. The Cole didn't have his best outing there. He made up for it again in game four, but 7 hits in 5 innings. Ended up being 4 runs, three earned. It was tough. It was tough, but the team fought back, and that's what they do. They just fight. They fight. They fight. The crowd was loud. The crowd was into it. It was better than ALCS game one, which we'll get into, but it was just awesome to be back in playoff baseball after missing last year. It was awesome.
It was a bit like of a weird. It was like a weird feeling for me when the game was on during the ALDS because it felt like it had been so long, and I feel so spoiled because obviously the Yankees are in it every year, and like last year they obviously didn't make it. Um, it was a weird feeling when it first kicked off in the
Mhm.
ALDS, but um, I mean it was a great game. I mean we don't have to. I don't think we should need to really go over every single game in the series
No,
unless if you want to, but.
no, just
Um,
we could go through a couple key pieces. You
I
know,
mean, okay, so let's talk about, I guess, Rodon, that first inning, that first inning and second inning that he had
game
against
two.
KC. Rodon was absolutely cruising. We were watching that game together. We were together for that one, and we were, Rodon's coming off the mound, and he's looking at Volpe, looking at, Jazz at third. He's like, oh, it's on, boys. It's
Yeah.
on. And then things kind of backfired a little bit for Rodon. But we have better news about Rodon that you guys probably already you guys do already know about coming in the future. But no, man. I mean, it was a great series. We held down Bobby Witt. Luke Weaver was the Dream Weaver, he likes to as per his Instagram handle.
Jungle Cat, he calls
Yeah,
himself.
ferocious jungle cat,
Ferocious
ferocious
Jungle
jungle
Cat.
cat. Um, I mean,
He's a weird guy. It's funny.
Stanton was playoff G. He still is playoff G. Glaber has been an absolute godsend, or was a godsend in the DS too. Um, Trying to think if I'm missing anything else. I mean, the whole bullpen was nails. Clay Holmes was nails.
Hmm.
Um, Honestly, like I think the biggest thing in that series was because we couldn't get the big hit, right? Like we kept complaining
No.
about not being able to get the big hit, but like we were finding ways to win those games, which I thought was, a good little thing to reflect on. But um it was tough. That series, it was like yeah, like we won in 3 games to 1, but it felt like a bit of a grind, you know? Am I wrong in saying that? Did it feel like a
No, it
grind to
was.
you?
I think the Royals pitching was way better than what we were giving them credit for. We knew coming in that they had great starters. Their starters were a matchup nightmare for us. Lugo, we can never hit. Waka, we can never hit. Reagans is a lefty, so obviously we can't hit him. But yeah, and their bullpen even came out. I wasn't scared of their bullpen at all, but really they held the Yankees in check. We did get a couple big hits in there, but it was tough with runners in scoring position. It got really frustrating. But this is what I think makes this Yankees team so special. Like even on games, they could beat you in a number of different ways. And this hasn't been true. Like if you want a pitcher's duel, we'll go out there and we'll beat you 3-1. You want to hit? We'll go out there. We'll beat you 8-6. So whatever kind of game you want, we're built for either one. So that was really what I took away from that series is they were competitive games, tight, low scoring. It was 6-5 first game. That was a little higher scoring, but very very proud of the pitching staff, especially the bullpen. The bullpen didn't give up a single earned run in that series. So
I mean, yeah, and like I said, to hold down the MVP candidate, Bobby Witt. I mean, we
mm,
know obviously Judge is going to win MVP, but holding down Witt was huge, and I feel like um even like on the bases, like they weren't as great on the bases against us as I thought they were going to be against KC, but we held them in check, and we were talking about game one. Like I remember after game one, we were all saying like, oh, like the Yankees, like that was the ugliest game they're gonna play, and like they still found a way to win, and it did get a little uglier, but they still found ways to win. But nonetheless, a great series. But we were focused on bigger things. We were, and so were the team. So, um, I mean that propels us into the ALCS, which was an absolute
what a
grind of a
series, bro!
series.
What
And
a series!
again, 4-1. On paper, you're thinking, Yanks in five. You're thinking, oh, it must have been easy. Yanks in five. Yanks must have played really well. Danny, that was one of the
They did play
most
really well. They did play really well.
for who Cleveland. You're saying?
The Yankees played really well.
Oh
You
no,
say,
yeah,
oh, they
they
must have
did.
played
No,
really.
yeah,
They did.
yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they won in five, of course. But Cleveland, like I have never been more
Annoyed.
frustrated and annoyed during a series. Like that series was a freaking grind.
Oh
That
yeah.
was an absolute grind. So yeah, I mean, game one came out in Yankee Stadium. Um, who pitched game one?
Empty Yankee Stadium.
You were at game two, right?
I was at game two.
And that was Garrett Cole was game
Two.
two, right? Yeah. So who
Yeah.
pitched game one? Was it?
That was the Rodon masterclass. So
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yes. 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 Go ahead. Do you? Why don't you? I talked about Rodon last, so you can talk
yeah,
about.
so this was big. This everybody was all eyes on Rodon coming in. They looked at him in the first game he pitched in against the Royals, game two there. He used all his energy early, adrenaline. So and a lot of times for a pitcher, it's tough to dump all that adrenaline, then go back out there and continue to pitch well. So he kind of used all his energy, and then he got flat, and you saw that they started to hit him, started to walk guys, went away from the fastball that was working so well early in that game. So going into this last series, he said he talked to Cole about how it could keep his composure more, and clearly he did. I mean, he went 6 innings, three hits, nine strikeouts. He got. It was so close to scoreless, but he let up that run late in his outing. Brian Rocchio got him, but that didn't matter. It didn't matter. Games one and two were really a kind of a cakewalk. You don't want to say
Yeah.
that, but games one and two, it felt like we handled easily, and it was almost like that's when I started even more saying Yanks and foe. It felt like the Yanks were going to be in foe,
And
but
Danny, I had been saying to you and the rest of our group chat that like going into this Cleveland series, like I was a bit worried about Cleveland because they don't strike
mhm,
out. Their bullpen is the best in baseball. Um, and it showed like they were
their
at
bullpen
least
didn't.
not in game one and two, it didn't show, but later on it was oh my God, those Cleveland games were some of the most stressful baseball games I think I've watched in my entire life. Like even more so than like the Yankees Astros or any Yankees Red Sox game I've ever been a part of. It was an absolute if I felt like I was playing the games at the end of the night, like I felt like, oh my God, like what a grind. What an absolute grind. It was crazy though,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
mean, in game two, and then in game two, Aaron Judge finally got going, home run, dead central, and I was at the stadium. I've, oh my God, I've never experienced something like that. I was in the bleachers too, throwing beer everywhere. The stadium, it roared. There was a roar. I think Susan Waldman even said it. She's been doing the Yankees for ever. And she even said she's never heard a roar or a cheer quite like that when Aaron Judge hit the home run. And that was very special. Everybody was rooting for him. Everybody is rooting for him. They know how important he is to this team.
Right.
And when he goes, we all want to go. So
Yeah, game two was great. Then we went to Cleveland, where game three was very dicey. And
oh
thank
my
God we can
God.
look back on it and laugh about it because game three, I was not feeling good at all after game three.
Mhm.
I mean, you and I, the whole group chat was down. You and I were texting the group chat like, like World Series teams, like they're gonna cross some bumps. Like it's not gonna be,
Mhm.
a smooth road all the way through. And this is how you become a World Series team. It's about how you respond to that type of adversity that you
Yes.
face. And they did. And but we'll get to that a little later on. But this game three was
Amazing. I mean,
amazing. I mean, from a Cleveland
I
standpoint,
mean, but it
it
was
was
also just amazing from, a baseball game standpoint.
right, right. If you're an independent baseball fan, you probably felt that that was one of the best games of the whole entire postseason. So,
Yeah.
um,
And it's like, and yeah, like you said, it's how you respond. I feel like some of the misconception after that game, which I was trying to calm people in our group chat, I was trying to calm people, especially Brian. That guy was going off. He said Brian was ready to write off the season, which was crazy to me. But his point was World Series teams don't lose games like that, which that's just not true. World Series teams have heartbreaking losses. Like the playoffs teams have heartbreaking losses. The Dodgers lost on a walk-off in the World Series and were able to respond to it. It's how you respond. So I was very interested to see how they came out the next day. If you miss game three, that stinks. I mean, that eighth inning was probably the
well,
best moment, the best Yankee postseason moment I've ever seen.
the you're saying from the Guardians, or
No, the eighth inning, Aaron Judge and Stanton going back to back.
oh, you're talking about that. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was okay. So, um, you, yeah, you weren't at my house for that. No, you
I
were.
was in Texas. I was in Texas for these
Oh,
last
you
three
were in Texas
games.
at that point. Okay, so you were
Yeah,
in Texas at that point. I mean, when Judge homered, right? Like he went down, he got that pitch that was low and away, and that looked like off the bat to me, it looked like it was going to be maybe a double, maybe it could have been cut off, maybe could have been cut
that's
off
what
and
I
even
thought.
been held to a single, and somehow Judge got it
Still,
out of the yard. It was absolute pandemonium in my house. We were everybody was freaking out. It was an unbelievable feeling. Stanton comes out. We're not even over the Judge homer yet. Stanton comes out. He hits one off of Class A, and we're like, "Holy shit, this is insane!" That would have been if they won that game. It would have been probably the greatest Yankee win that I had ever seen. But of
what did
course,
it turn into?
what did
What did
it
it turn
turn
into?
into? It turned into something else. Turned into something else.
It's
But with that being said, that moment would have I mean, I guess it's not as special as it would have been if they had won the game, but like we can look back
it's
on it now and
it
we
was
can still
amazing.
say that it was a moment that we'll never forget. And I mean, credit to Big Christmas honestly too for I mean, coming off the bench and not hitting for days and days and days, and he takes Weaver's best pitch. I mean, it was a hanging changeup, but he takes Weaver 9,000 feet to left field. So it was that was that was that was sad. And Weaver, down to his final strike against
And
Lane Thomas.
Weaver don't
0 2.
mess up like that, bro.
0 2. Weaver down to his final strike, then throws three straight balls, gives up the double off the wall, and then comes the big Christmas blast, which was not not good. And we were all worried about the momentum, right? Because momentum is so huge in baseball and postseason baseball. And it felt like the Yankees lost all of it, honestly.
No, I mean, I was in a different place than you guys. Obviously, pissed, upset about the loss, heartbroken about the loss. But you kind of zoom out on everything, and you're up 2-1. We hit Class A. That was one of your biggest fears coming in, and I was kind of saying, Chase, shut up, shut the fuck up. We're fine. I'm not scared of Cleveland. We shouldn't be scared of Cleveland because we hit Class A well in the past. We've always hit Class A for some reason. I don't know if he tips pitches against us. I don't know what it is. I mean, he basically throws the same variation of one pitch, so I don't know if the Yankees just see that well. Um, so he had a 15 ERA in this postseason. For him
Yeah,
coming in, it's almost like let's fucking go. Class A's in this game. We got him again the next night. Like, I wasn't scared of their bullpen at all, but David Fry walking us off. Yeah, there it was sadness.
that was a
But
low. That was a very, very low. I was not. I mean, I was texting you. You can vouch for me. Like, I still think like there's a good chance for us, but I was not feeling
yeah.
nearly as confident as I had been before that game.
Yeah, and then
Um,
we come all the way back. We hit those two huge home runs off Class A, and then we get an insurance run in the top of the ninth. So now we have the best closer in baseball at that moment, Luke Weaver, with a 2-run lead. He's not gonna blow it. It's Luke fucking Weaver. He's the best thing we got. They got him, which hats off to them. They got him. That doesn't make me lose confidence in Weaver, which Brian, not to keep throwing him under the bus. He does now. For some reason, he's saying Luke Weaver has been a failed starter for 10 years, which he has, but doesn't take away what he's been doing as our closer. I wanted to. It was interesting to see how we would respond the next night, and how did we respond?
well, what did we
Juan
say?
Soto first
What did we
inning.
say? What did we say going into game four? What did we say?
What, like punch first inning,
Got to
punch
punch
first,
first.
take the momentum back.
You need at least 2 runs in the first inning. And what'd they do?
Juan Soto, baby.
Juan Soto,
Juan
Juan freaking
Soto.
Soto. That guy's an absolute right here behind me too.
Hey,
I don't
kind of
know if
looks
the
like you.
I don't know if the fans are gonna be able to see it on the YouTube. I don't know if it'll be cut off or not, but if you can't, that's Juan Soto behind me doing the Soto
You can
shuffle.
see that. That's directly by your head.
But yeah, I mean Soto. I mean he showed us in this series particularly is like that's why you go out and you get Juan Soto. And in this game in particular, like after such a gut wrenching loss, he comes out. Glaber gets on first inning, and he comes out and just sends a ball to the moon, and gives the Yankees takes back all the momentum at that point. Right, like at that point, it was just like okay, like we're here, we're here. And then next half inning, Ramirez comes in, he hits a sac fly, the Guardians score. And I think it was a 2-1 game, and then Wells comes out. Wells hits a solo shot of his own. You're like, okay, we're here, we're still here. So we were feeling good. Um, Guardians just kept punching back, punching back. It was just honestly very back and forth the whole game. Playoff Stanton, everybody knows the story with him. No, I mean, what can you say about Stanton? I mean, oh my
That
God.
was a huge home run. We're up 3-2. Uh, it's playoff baseball. One run lead ain't safe. He hits a 3-run bomb, make it 6-2, 4-run lead. Turns out that wasn't safe either. But for him to go out there and put us up by even more, it was awesome.
6-2, Danny. 6-2 at that point, and then they blew it again.
Motherfuckers fight, dude.
They blew it
Motherfuckers
again.
fight.
Man, that those Guardians. I mean, we were texting Chris Bryant. Like Chris Bryant is a mutual friend of mine and Danny's Guardians fan.
Yeah. Shout
Man,
out.
I mean that Guardians team is one of the toughest baseball teams I think in the league, just based on the way they fight. I mean, I've never seen a team that fights like that, back and back and back, no matter how many punches you throw. Then I mean, things worked out in the end. Obviously, got a little scary in the ninth, especially when or actually earlier on, it was even when Leiter came in and he flipped that ball in the eighth. Was it the eighth inning? Flipped it to Rizzo and went
Yeah,
under
bottom of
Rizzo's
the
legs
eighth.
and down the line to tie the
Hmm.
game. Um, so I mean, it was really really scary. That game was, but they again like the Yankees showed who they are. They like
Hit,
you
get
punch
the
them in
big
the mouth,
hit,
we'll punch you
bro.
in the mouth. It's just how it is. At least that's how it was in this series.
Look, hats off to my Mark Leiter. I mean, that guy, he was put on the roster that morning. He comes in, he looked good. I mean, he got out big Christmas. The the inning before, I mean, everybody in the world, it was 6-5 game at that point. In the bottom of the seventh, big Christmas comes in. The cat crazy camera work. It's a shot to the warning track. Cameraman they made it look like it was going 700 feet, and it was caught at the wall. Leiter got out of that inning. Great job. And I still the run wasn't on him. It's a tough play for a pitcher. For me, I want my first baseman to catch that ball. But to find out to get put on the roster that morning and then get thrown in the seventh inning of the biggest game of the year, take some balls, come out and get outs. And he did get outs. It didn't work out in the end, but the next day too, in Game 5, he got amazing outs again, and it just shows how different the Yankee teams are. Like it's you expect them to come through in the big moment. Like we're
Right.
down, we're tied, we now have runners in scoring position, runners on base. You expect them to come through. That's a different feeling than it was in the previous playoffs. Like, then you get into Game 5. I mean, it's we're down by two. Stanton's at the plate, 2 outs. You just expect him to come through. Juan Soto, tie game, top of the 10th, runners on. You expect him to come through. And it's such a refreshing feeling to have that because I don't remember the last time I felt like that in the playoffs.
Me neither. We haven't had that in the playoffs. We haven't
No.
in the last couple of years. And even down to the very final out, Danny, it was scary because John Birdie comes in, he gets a ground ball
Oh
to end
my
the game, and he knocks the ball down, botches it. Still, obviously, stay with the play, made the play, but it just goes to show that the Guardians are really never out of it. Like until
no.
like the game, until there's 27 outs, they're never out of it. And then they moved on to, I think the best. I'm not even gonna say the best. Danny, this was the best baseball game that I've watched in my entire life. I was too young in 2009. I was 7 years old in 2009, and I don't remember the Yankees winning the World Series. I don't. This was the greatest moment, the greatest game of Yankees baseball that I've seen in my entire
Yeah.
life, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not afraid to make that
No.
drastic of a take.
You think of Raul Ibanez in 2012. That was an amazing moment. But again, we were younger. That wasn't to send us the World Series. So this is the best moment, especially in recent history. I mean, since 2017 when the Yankees got good again after the tough 14s to 16, 13, whatever. But yeah, I can't think of a real better moment too. I was young. I remember the Yankees World Series, but it's a different feeling now because we're in it more. You don't really understand. We're 7 years old. You don't really understand what's going on. You don't understand the emotions behind it. But right now we're in it. Like we're fully invested. We're fully in it. I
We're
feel
on
like
the
I'm part of the
team.
goddamn team.
We're
Yeah.
on the team.
Yeah.
We're on the
Yeah.
team. No,
I don't
but
say the Yankees, I say we.
the first inning, I mean, the Yankees came out firing against Cleveland. I mean, it was bases loaded, or no, sorry, not bases loaded. It was first and second, or no, yeah, first and second, and Glaber gets thrown out at home on an amazing
Yeah.
relay throw
It was great.
by Jimenez. It was honestly one of the craziest plays I've ever seen because I was saying, Danny, I want to hear your thoughts on it, right? Because we didn't watch the game together and we hadn't talked about it. I don't really fault them for sending Glaber there
No.
because you needed to have a perfect throw, perfect play, perfect relay
Mhm.
to make that play. And people were like, "Oh, like no, you shouldn't have sent him within second and third, no outs with Judge." Like I get it, like situationally, but like in hindsight, you look back and you're like, "Oh, they shouldn't have sent him." But like in that moment, like I'm also sending Glaber.
Yeah. I mean, he's safe 9 out of 10 times, probably. And hats off to them. I mean, they made a perfect play. Sometimes they just make the perfect play, which I mean, good on them. They made the perfect play. Don't expect it to happen, but it did.
And then it was bleak, Danny. It was bleak after that
Mhm.
until Stanton, Big G's big shot. The Guardians, Bo Naylor had like a 14 pitch at bat and scored his brother Josh.
Fuck this
That was
guy, bro.
insane.
Bo
Um,
Naylor now.
Quan scored Jimenez in the fifth, and then it was 2-0. Things are looking down. Yankee offense is getting shut down after the first inning. I mean, Wells hitting two double plays in Game 5. It was really ugly. And then Stanton comes out, and who else but John Carlos Stanton to just I have no words for the guy. I really don't. I
MVP.
NLC ALC NLCS. Who am I? Oh my God,
What
ALCS
the hell are you
MVP.
talking about?
ALCS MVP for a reason. This guy. Oh my God, dude. Just an absolute godsend he's
Yeah.
been.
Before we get off that moment, like this is what I keep coming back to. Like this team is fucking different. They're different. You have first and second, nobody out with Aaron Judge up. He hits into a brutal double play. You think in past years, all right, innings over, we're still down 2-0. We're probably going to go on to lose this game. We die after a moment like that because that's a heartbreaking double play. If you're Aaron Judge, you can't do that. We overlooked that. We won the game, obviously, going to the World Series. You can't do that if you're Aaron Judge,
No.
hitting to that double play. But it's Giancarlo Stanton now, and for some reason, Bybee throws him a hanging curveball in the strike zone when 3-2. You have two bases open with Jazz Chisholm on deck, who hasn't been good. What are
Well,
you doing?
he
And
missed his
Stanton sends
spot.
it
He missed
440
his
feet.
spot bad. Bad.
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
look
yeah.
back at the clip, he's setting up in the other batter's box because he
It's,
had Stanton swinging at pitches in the other batter's box
yeah.
all game.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
game.
maybe Stanton just had him right where he wanted him. He swung at those pitches out of the zone. He wanted him to throw him a strike. He knew maybe he was trying to pitch around me. If he has two strikes, he'll be more confident. He'll give me a pitch to hit, and he hit it.
Yeah, he certainly did, and he's been hitting it. So that
Also,
was
this was a very stressful game for me because I wasn't able to watch a lot of it. It was terrible. I was at the Texas game, hook 'em. Bad loss, but I was there. I didn't get service at my seat. I didn't. I would have to go up into the tunnel. I had to go up into the tunnel to get service just to check to see what's going on. So I missed the Stanton home run. It wasn't until like the eighth inning where I was able to actually finally get service and watch the rest of the game. And I'm glad I was able to watch the end of the game there.
yeah. I mean, because if you had missed the game, then you would have missed out on the greatest Yankee game since 2009. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I mean, yeah, Big G ties the game. Danny, let's talk about the greatest Yankee moment since two. Is that a crazy take? It has to be. It has to be the number that's a good take,
No,
right?
that's a great take. It sent us to the World Series, dude. Um,
The greatest moment since 2009. Juan Soto has the best at bat I've ever seen in
Amazing at
my
bat.
life with my two
Amazing
eyes
at bat.
in during a live game. By the way, like
Amazing at bat.
I'm sure there are better at bats over the course of
Hmm.
162s, but that's the best at bat I've ever seen during a live game. I mean,
Yeah, that's where the annoying Twitter finger guys come in. Like you have people tweeting best at bat ever, best at bat ever. You're like, oh well, you definitely didn't see this one in 1986. Shut the fuck up. That was a great at bat to watch. It was definitely one of the best in history. Off Gaddis, who Guardians one of the best relievers in baseball this season. Uh, we hit the relievers, and that
Soto
was
Soto was the whole at bat. You could see it. And Danny, I was getting flashbacks to 2019 of him off of Verlander in Houston,
yeah. Oh yeah.
nodding his head, shaking his head. Yes. Oh, I'm on you. I'm on you. I mean,
Gaddis made good pitches, but Soto was just good enough to foul them off. First off, for the home run, thank you to Rocchio. I mean, the usual sure-handed shortstop had his second huge error to put. They weren't going to double up Verdugo probably, but getting it out there is still big. Soto might not have been up in that moment. So thank you to Rocchio. Two big errors in this series. But yeah, I mean, Gaddis was throwing good pitches that probably could have struck out a lot of other guys, but Soto just fast hands, found him off, found him off. Because that's what he does. And then he finally got the fastball. And Chase, he didn't miss it. He didn't miss it.
Soto goes up, he gets the fastball and gives
Another missed
me
spot, by the way. That was supposed to be up above the zone.
Soto goes up, he gets the fastball, and he gives me one of, I think, a lifetime memory for me. I
Mm-hmm.
will never forget that moment as long as I live. And I'm sorry if that's
No.
dramatic. I'm sorry if people watching this are thinking to themselves, "Oh, like you live such a sad life." Like I'm sorry. Like that was one of the best moments of
Nah,
my
man.
life following sports. That's probably my favorite sports memory I think I've ever had.
Yeah. I mean, I had a crazy night with that experience. For me, especially, I will never forget that. I was sitting at the top of DKR, which is Texas Stadium. Texas had just lost brutally to Georgia. Um, and I have Georgia fans coming trying to chirp me, and I'm saying I don't care. I'm giving them big hugs. Yankees. One a Georgia fan watched the game with me, and I just go up. I start hugging everybody. I'm hugging random people. They have no idea what's going on. I walk out of the stadium. I'm still watching the highlights, whatever. My phone dies. I'm in the middle of Austin now. No idea where I am. My friend's working. I got to find my way back to his apartment. I'm walking the streets of Austin for about an hour, just hugging people on the side of the road because the Yankees are in the pennant. And these are text. people from Texas or Georgia, like they don't give a shit about the Yankees. But anybody I could hug, anybody that would listen to me, I was giving a big fat hug because Juan Soto sent us to the World Series.
Listen, Danny, I told you this on the side, and I guess since you gave your story, I'll give my crazy story. A little bit of a crazy story. Soto goes up, hits that high fastball, and he hits it out. And Danny, I blacked out. I'm looking at the TV. I had like 6 or 7 people at my house watching the game. We're all like in a huddle, like hugging and jumping and screaming. I looked at my brother's face. My brother's face was red, like I've never seen a red face before in my life. My shirt was off. I don't know how my shirt came off.
Damn, I
I'm
missed
being
that.
totally honest. Like I didn't sit there and I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna take my shirt off with my shirt off. Like my shirt was just off and I was waving it in the air. I blacked out and it was just
Ugh,
the best sports moment that I've ever witnessed with my 2 eyes. And I hope
yeah,
that they can give us a better moment as they now are approaching the World Series, the Fall Classic against the Los Angeles Dodgers. We have Soto, we have Judge, we have Stanton, we have Glaber versus Otani, Mookie Betts, Fred Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, who has been an absolute tank this year, by the way. I mean,
yeah, he's good.
it's going to be an absolute movie. It's a movie.
Yeah, Teoscar did have a tough series. It's literally this is what script writers want to happen. I mean, this is an all-time matchup. Yankees are 8-3 against the Dodgers all time in the World Series. They've met a lot, but this is the first time since 1981. People are complaining a lot. I mean, yeah, of course they spend the most money. Of course they're going to be in the World Series. This sucks. Why do we want to watch the two powerhouses? It's happened since 81. So I don't know what people are talking about that you'd rather watch the Brewers and the Tigers. No, you want to see the best players in baseball go at it on baseball's biggest stage, and I can't fucking wait. It's going to be great. The Dodgers, obviously, we can't take them lightly. They just broke the runs record in
And
an
Tommy Edman
NLCS.
too. Tommy Edman
Tom,
too. I
bro,
didn't even mention Tommy Edman when I was going
yeah,
over who the players they have. That guy just won an NLCS MVP, broke the Dodgers record for postseason RBIs in a championship series. So
yeah.
it's not going to be an easy task. It's not.
And Shohei Otani is 18 for 22 with runners in scoring position this postseason, hitting 818, not slugging 818. His OPS is he is batting 800 with runners in scoring position right now. So it's going to be a heavyweight battle. The one thing I will say, we're previewing this series. I'm not scared of their pitching. I think the Yankees have the upper hand starting pitching. I would even
Agreed.
bullpen is a little tough. The bullpen did look good for the Dodgers, but I still think I don't know. I'd give our back end of the bullpen the upper hand there as well. Lineup wise, I mean, it could go either way depending on who's firing. We need Judge to show up. Their lineup probably is a little bit more star studded, probably a little better than ours right now. We have a couple guys that are auto outs, but
Yeah, and I was saying to my brother before, like they have Blake Trinan, right? And Blake Trinan's been amazing for them all year. He's a great player, great closer. But like we we hit Class A. Like I'm not gonna say I'm confident against any pitcher, but like I'm comfortable attacking any pitcher that we're
mhm,
gonna face. Like you
yeah.
hit Class A, your confidence is at an all-time high as a hitter. So it's not gonna be an easy series, but I have Yanks in 6.
Yanks and foe. Come on, we're back.
Yanks in
But
6.
but yeah, I mean their ace is Jack Flaherty. He's very good, but he's not Garrett Cole. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, great. I mean, but he's kind of a little limited. I know they don't let him really go over 5 innings, and I also am not that scared of him either. They will be deploying bullpen games, a couple points in this series, which bring it. That's a bad time for you if you're bringing in your bullpen. We show what we do against bullpens. You're going to pitch them the whole game. Bring it. Their pitching, I think we will be able to hit them and hit them hard. I'm expecting high scoring games this series, and I'm not just saying that the Yankees are going to blow them out because I think the Dodgers will be able to keep up even with our good pitching. But Yanks and foe, we'll be able to limit them a little bit because of our pitching. Let's do
I
it.
love it. Listen, man, we're running out of time here, Danny, but I will say that
I want to give some players some shout outs that deserve it
it's go
that we
ahead,
haven't
go
talked about
just
yet.
go ahead, just list them off. You got a minute 30.
Shit. Um, well, Glaber Torres, amazing. All that dude's done is get on base, and that's perfect. You want the guys in front of Soto, in front of Judge, in front of Stanton to get on base. That's exactly what he's been. Anthony Volpe, he was amazing. I mean, he hit 353 in this ALCS, 476 on base. this is what we wanted from Anthony Volpe. We don't need him hitting 20 home runs. This is exactly the Anthony Volpe that was advertised. The bullpen, Mark Leiter Jr. already gave him a shout out. Tim Meza, good job getting those reps in the bullpen. Anthony Rizzo. I mean, he comes back. He has shattered fingers. He hits 429 in this ALCS. I mean, he's been amazing. Exactly, Anthony Rizzo, veteran presence. Just having him in the lineup made it way deeper. This lineup is deep now. Really, the only guys that are struggling, Jazz Wells, which Wells I'm not as mad about because he plays a great catcher. He's great behind the plate. Jazz would like to see it step it up, but this is an amazing
And
series, and the Yankees win
Judge
the
has got
World
to step it
Series.
up.
Judge got to step it up. We know that. We said that already. But I don't know about you, but I was crying after the Yankees won. I was crying.
It was an incredible feeling, an incredible moment, and one that I am ridiculously excited for.
And I missed you with your shirt off. God damn.
I know you did.
Sucks.
How can we make up for that?
To win a World Series.
Let's win a World Series. I'll go to the parade shirtless. How about that?
All right, perfect. We're
Okay.
there.
We're there. We're there.
Nonetheless, Danny, it is going to be a very difficult series because obviously every World Series is difficult, especially against such a tough lineup. So we can talk about, what are, you give me some of your keys to the series, and if you don't list any of mine, then I'll give some of mine out.
Yeah. And we're not going to say Aaron Judge because obviously we want the MVP to show up, and we know we're going to need Aaron Judge. My first one would be Garrett Cole in game one. Set the tone early. He's had 3 playoff starts this year. Two, yeah, 2 of them weren't Garrett Cole that we know. He was awesome in game 4 of the ALDS. Uh, was good, uh, but again, wasn't able to get out of the 5th inning. Uh, we're Garrett Cole, all right? We know our pitching is better than theirs, so we want you to go out there at least 6, maybe 7 of 1-run baseball. Let's go. I want you to set the tone early, punch him in the mouth, and then our hitters keep doing what we do. Uh, get the big hit. That's the key. Just get the big hit. Get the big inning. Uh, get hot, and stay hot. We are hot, so just yeah. Garrett Cole, start us off.
So Garrett Cole is your number one key, the number
Yeah.
one thing that you're
Yep.
focused on.
And he's gonna pitch. You assume 1, 4, and 7. Hopefully, he wants the ball. I hope he's the guy that'll say, "No, don't wait till game 5 when I'm on full rest. Give me the ball in game 4. Let's go. Let's go win a series."
I would say I have two keys, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Of course,
I guess
many keys.
there are many keys. Honestly, I'll do a quick one. I'll list a quick one off. You gotta win on the road. Game 1 or 2. Gotta win at least one. If you don't come out and like if you don't win game 1, like okay, fine. Like you're on the road. You're in all the way over in LA. You've had what 8 days off by the time the World Series comes around. So just fine. Just rebound. Come out game 2. Come out game 2 and win game 2. You gotta take one on the road.
Yeah.
That's my one of my biggest keys. I think the other one too is I think it's Anthony Volpe, right? I think Volpe, like you mentioned his numbers earlier, Volpe has been, I mean, creating a new mold for himself as a player in this postseason because of how good he has been, especially in the middle of the order, right? So like if God forbid Jazz isn't giving any production or Wells or Verdugo, mid to late in the order, you're gonna need Volpe. Volpe is gonna have to continue to stay hot. He's been such a big player for us. Um, and because like in the middle of that order, Danny, like it hasn't been good. Like Jazz has been terrible. Wells has been terrible. Verdugo has had some nice moments, but it also like hasn't been overall like consistently good. Rizzo has been good. So like it really comes down to me. Assuming all the other guys are going like in the top of the order, you need Rizzo and you need Volpe. It's the two Anthonys are my key.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's probably the biggest thing for me. And also on the Dodgers side, you mentioned Shohei with runners on. Shohei with runners on is an absolute, he's Zeus. He is Zeus with runners on. So if without runners on, he's not as productive, according to the numbers. And just based on what I saw watching the NLCS, and the NLDS. But obviously Shohei's gonna have his moments. He's gonna have those big RBI days that he has, and he's gonna be a pest, and there's no way around it. So when Shohei is up in big spots, you gotta figure out a way to limit him because if you don't, it's gonna be hell.
So yeah, that actually kind of goes into my point that I was gonna make. I think it's you want to limit the Dodgers role players. Those are the guys that are getting on for Soto. Those are the guys that are up for Soto for Shohei. Those are the guys that are setting him up. You know that Betts, that Otani, Freddie Freeman isn't fully healthy, so maybe not him. You know that's look. You hate to see a guy hurt, but
He only have
I mean
like
he's
two
not
role
gonna be.
players though, which is crazy. That's the
He's
funny
not gonna
part.
be. Yeah, he's not gonna. He so far this postseason he hasn't been that star that he is. But you have to get the guys like Max Muncy out. You have to get Tommy Edman out. You have to get Chris Taylor out. You have to get
Hothead
these
too.
guys at the bottom of their lineup after Betts. You have to get those guys out so they aren't setting up Otani in those runners in scoring position moments. Because Shohei comes up, hits a solo homer. It's not as big as if he comes up and hits a 3-run homer or a 3-run double, whatever. So limit those role players that played a huge part in that Mets series. I mean, you're not breaking runs records in a series if everybody's clicking. So not an easy test. They're all out right now, but limit those guys and we're good. We're good.
Another thing too is let's not do what we did in Cleveland, where when we score, we immediately come back out next half inning and we give up like a 2-0 count or a leadoff walk. So let's not do
Walks are
that this
annoying. Let's
time
not walk,
around. Let's attack the strike zone because they are
especially
gonna
against
make
those
us
other
pay.
guys.
They are
Kike
gonna make.
Hernandez, a playoff legend. Keep him in check.
So let's not do that thing that we did in Cleveland with the come out in the next half inning after you score and you throw four straight balls, two straight balls, and you're putting them in. I mean, the Guardians were in hitter counts all game. I mean,
Mhm.
there was never a non-hitter. I feel like we were never 0-2 on them. So you gotta, like you said, limit the role players because those guys are the table setters for the bigger guys. So
Yeah, we're fine if Betts or Otani beat us because you know that's going to happen. They're stars, some of the best players in the game, but you can't let Chris Taylor beat you.
cannot.
Then another thing with that bullpen too, mentioned that we're going to be seeing their bullpen a lot. Their starters aren't going to get good length. Flaherty will if he's pitching well. But Dave Roberts did a great job against the Mets in not throwing the same guys out there, the same parts of the order. So you're gonna be facing a lot of different guys. Like Soto shouldn't expect to see Trinan back-to-back nights. So really, they don't want you to get too comfortable. So don't get too comfortable. Use your strength, know who you are, and hit. Because we hit. We hit. Our guys hit. Confidence in ourselves. Doesn't matter who's on the mound.
Yo, let's go in a World Series.
Let's win a World Series,
Let's
man.
win
I
a
can't believe
World
we're
Series.
here. You
I
think,
can't believe it.
dude, this whole way, I was confident in the whole way. I'm confident the whole way, but there is that little part of you that's like, well, somehow this is going to turn on its head. Somehow. But we're
Well,
here, man. We're
I
here.
am wearing a Yankee World Series
1996,
shirt
fire.
from 1996 right now
I'm wearing my Judge jersey.
for the good vibes. So let's
This
do
is my
it.
good luck charm at games now.
Yeah, what is it? What jersey is that?
Judge.
Oh, the Judge jersey. Well, let's do it, man. Let's go win a World Series. I can't even believe that this is even happening. It doesn't feel real.
It doesn't feel
Um,
real. I hate that we have to wait till Friday. I want to play now.
I know, it stinks, but it's
But
good though. Anticipation is good. We'll be so excited. We already are, but we'll be even more excited by
mhm.
then. So, hey, shout out to the Crizzos. I met some of you guys at Danny's graduation party this past was that in the summer? Was that like August? That was August, right?
Yeah, I don't know. July, maybe. I don't know.
July. Well, shout out to the Crizzos. I know you guys are listening. I hope you guys are
They
ready for
better be.
I hope you guys are ready for the go to the World Series because we're there. So let's do it. Uh,
Lukey Crizzo's all over the Yanks and Foe train. He's with me.
oh, Yanks and Foe.
Let's hear
He's
you
got
say
Yanks
it,
and
Luke.
Foe.
Comment on wherever. Yanks and Foe.
Okay, I'll be looking out for that comment then. But hey, Danny, this has been so fun. I'm so happy to have jumped back on here with you after such
Glad
a
to
long
hear your
time.
thoughts finally. I've missed you, man.
We
Can't
haven't
wait to
talked
watch
about
these
it.
games. We'll
Maybe we
watch all these games
uh,
together.
maybe we'll need to figure out a way to create some content if we are watching the games together, just like setting up
Yeah.
the phone in big moments and just having a camera
Yeah.
on us. So,
Yeah.
thank you all for listening. This has been awesome. It feels so good to hop back on the mic. Um, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Spreading the News, on Twitter at official STN Pod, and on TikTok at Spreading the News because it's about to get really, really good. It's about to get really, really good. We're at the pinnacle of Major League Baseball right now. So
Best show on earth. Let's fucking do it. We're
let's
finally
do
getting
it.
Yankees Dodgers. Come
Doesn't
on.
get better than that. Yanks in
Doesn't get better.
6. Let's go, Yanks, baby.
Let's go Yanks. Let's fucking go.